I am very excited to be with you guys here today. I have gone back and forth about what to share with you. There's so much about angels that I could share with you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got to even be experiencing angels. First of all, I know that as a child I was experiencing angels, but I also had some very helpful people in my life that convinced me I wasn't, right? So all of our early caretakers are trying to help us be successful in life, and so no, that can't be real. And then, of course, entered the what I lovingly call my people-pleasing phase. Anybody gone through that? Newsflash, the people are never pleased, just so you know. That's a whole nother talk, though, so when I come back next time, we'll talk about that. Yes, I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but we're not going to talk about all the stuff. We're going to talk about the angels. So right before I met Michael, I actually was going through a ton of, I don't know how to call it. I would like to say it's spiritual confusion, because that's what it felt like. All of these doors in the spirit realm were being opened for me, and it was just crazy. I had no clue what to do with any of it. Thankfully, I had some mentors that came along and said, "Oh, Michelle, it's this thing." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So when I'm woken up from a dead sleep and I'm talking to an angel, they're like, "Yeah, that's normal." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So this is a new normal for Michelle." So then I started to do some energy work. Actually, Mike and I met during Psych K. Anybody taken Psych K classes here? Yeah. So during that time, I was doing these energy sessions, and the angels started coming. And I was like, so this angel has a message for you? And people were like, "Really?" And I was like, yeah. I don't really know what to do with it, right? So I was just sharing what I was told. And then over time, it kind of got to the point where the angels are everywhere. There's no getting away from them. We've got them all over this room. I wish you could see them all. Especially Archangel Raphael in the back corner, and then Michael over here in this back corner, just kind of holding the space for us really nicely today. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, you have angels that are with you personally all the time. More than just your guardian angel, which I think I give mine a little overtime when I'm driving. But there are, in my experience, for myself personally and also working with clients, we all have what I call our angel team, which is a group of 22 angels that are with you all the time. Did you catch what I just said? 22 angels. That's a lot of angels, right? Some of us need more than others. We can lend them, but that's a whole thing. So it goes more than just this idea of a guardian angel. So these 22 angels are really what I call angel energy. So if you think about your energetic body, all of these angels are held within your energetic body. Okay? Now, there's a beautiful way of understanding them. I don't have my allotment of time. Michael comes and he says, "Michelle, yes, you're going to have all this time, and it's okay if you go back past the time that I allot you, right?" And then I look at the clock and I said, "That's not what Michael said." So, all right. So what I really want to talk to you about is 5 of the angels that appear most often when I'm doing sessions. And I want to talk to you a little bit about some lessons that I really think everybody needs to know from the angels. But in between those two things, I would like to take questions from you guys. Okay? So there you go. Get ready. Okay, so there are 5 angels they make a beautiful team. The first one is the angel of unconditional love and freedom. This is like, I always call it the container angel. So this is the angel that holds everything. Everything is about unconditional love and freedom. Absolutely everything. Even the things that might not seem very loving, that might seem very, very harsh in our life, they all go back to bringing us to a new level of unconditional love and freedom. I often have people from various different church backgrounds. I grew up as a Baptist, so that's one way to be. In college, I went to a Pentecostal church completely different way of being. And then I married into a very traditional Lutheran church, because why not, right? Get the whole pack. And everybody has an opinion about angels, but not many people have a real life experience with the angels. So I often get very helpful people saying, Michelle, are you reading your Bible? Are you doing your Bible study? Are you praying? I'm like, yeah, all day, every day. I'm talking to angels. And they're like, yeah, but how do you know it's an angel? Easy. Here is your filter. Any message that comes to you, if it's about unconditional love and freedom, that's a good message. That's it. That's all you need to know. Unconditional love and freedom, check. It's a go. Okay? So the next one that I often work with is the angel of courage. Now, this angel and I, we have a really good, healthy working relationship. I tell him what to do all the time. And he loves it. He chuckles and he says, yeah, right on, let's do it. So essentially the angel of courage, yes, he tries to give you courage, but his job, it's kind of like, how many of you are in a position where you are trying to delegate something to somebody? So you're at work, you're trying to delegate, or how about you're a parent and you're trying to delegate something to your children, okay? This angel actually listens, okay? You don't have to train him, he actually listens. So he will come in and if I say, all right, listen, I know this is what we want to do, right? And I've got that courage, that bravery behind it. He goes, right on, how do you want to do it? And I said, you have to do this. And sometimes I'll say, listen to me, by law, you have to do this. And he chuckles and says, yes, Michelle, yes, I got it. And so I think it's not his courage that he's giving me, it's my courage that's releasing him to do his work. And this is the one thing I want you to know about angels. They're not in charge. You are. They have to take your orders. Now, within reason. You can't take over somebody's free will, kind of like the genie in Aladdin. Like, I can't ask them to, what was it? You can't kill somebody and you can't fall in love with somebody, right? Angels aren't going to help you do either one of those, by the way. So the angel of courage is one that I call on a lot, especially when I'm doing something and I don't feel the courage. And he's just right here, kind of like right behind my back. The next one is the angel of temptation. Now, a lot of people have an understanding of what they think that word means, but the angel of temptation is our teacher angel. So he's like our one teacher in this lifetime. So we all have our normal human development things that we're working on, but you all have life lessons that you are trying to learn. You know what those life lessons are? They're the patterns and the habits that you're struggling with, that you're like, I should be better at this. Everybody else knows how to do this, and I don't. Well, everybody else has probably learned that lesson, whether in this lifetime or a different one, and they're in the master's class on that, and you happen to be in second grade. And so having shame and guilt and blame for you in your second gradeness doesn't really help you get to third grade. And so the angel of temptation is completely loving, unconditional patience. You can screw up 1,000,000 times, and the answer is always going to be, okay, what do you want next? What do you want instead? And when you actually learn a lesson, like this whole people-pleasing thing that I've been learning lately, that angel gets really, really excited for you. Like, yes, it's not just a nice thing in this lifetime. It's like, this is a big one that you need across all of your lifetimes, okay? Now, the angel of process, this angel often shows up as a masculine figure that is carrying books and scrolls and blueprints and all kinds of stuff. This angel knows every system and every process about everything. And if I need to know anything, I don't know what it is. There is this weird thing happening in my life right now where apparently my printer and my toilet cannot work on the same day. There's this little energy vortex going on. It's got my maintenance guys a little weirded out. And so I call on the angel of process, please help me. Help me understand what's happening here. I have clients that will call. I just got a call actually a couple days ago. This guy works at a very large, what does he do? I don't know what he does. Anyway, he sent me this picture of this very industrial printer. And he's like, okay, we're having an issue with this. Can you help me? And I was like, no, but I got a guy. And he's like, well, check in, right? And I said, okay. And so I'm like, okay, Angel of Process, I don't know anything about any of this. And so I just start writing down what he's telling me. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell you. And I said, I know these are all English words. I don't know what they mean together. And so I told him, and he's like, oh, that's it? And I was like, yes, that's it. That's all you need to do. And he went and he did the thing. He's like, oh my God, Michelle, it worked. I said, that's great. That's awesome. That happens all the time. People will call me about their cars. Same thing happens with our bodies. Somebody will call and say, hey, I've got this weird thing going on. I'm a doctor, but listen, I have a PhD in education. Okay, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know anything. But when the angel process comes and says, hey, they probably need to do this and this, I'm like, check with your doctor, but I think you need to look into that. I've had the pleasure of working with animals a lot. I, a couple years ago, got to help heal a duck, Carmelita, the duck. And the angel of process was able to give me information that the vet just wasn't looking at things the right way. And so thankfully they were able to intervene. And then the other beautiful angel that I absolutely adore is the angel of creative word. So this angel, lots of angels will show up as a masculine figure or a feminine figure or as both or none. Some have forms all the time, some do not. The angel of creative word is formless, kind of like this picture, but without a form. So the colors, but she has this like vibrating sound quality to her. The senses get a little mixed up when I hang out with the angels quite a bit. And so her sole job is to magnify your voice. Guys, will you do me a favor and just flip back to that last song? I just want to see the words on the screen. So she literally just takes your words and magnifies them. When you sang these words this morning, it wasn't just these words. It was ripple upon ripple upon ripple that you were singing for yourself and for the whole world. I remember a time I was going through a very, very bad divorce several years ago, and I had gotten into a position where something happened at home, and it was really bad. And I just clocked out as far as being a human, and I was laying on my bed looking at the wall for about 2 hours. I had no thoughts. I couldn't pray. I couldn't sing, nothing. My kids would come in and check on me and make sure I was still alive. And at some point, I had this thought to just whisper, help, help. I don't know what kind of help I need. I don't know how to get out of this space. And the angel of creative word was like pulling the words out of my mouth. And before I knew it, a friend spontaneously came over to my house, said, hey, would you like to go out to dinner? I'm like, yes, if you'd like to help me get dressed. And I was able to get out of that, right? So angels are not just about giving us information and like a nice thing out there. They are real, they are practical, and they are with you every day, okay? So now is the time for questions. Who has a question about angels? Sure? Yeah? Your car is leaking water into it? Yeah, when it was raining so bad here, my car got all wet on the inside when the windows closed. Like everywhere on the inside? Almost, yeah. Like condensation or? No, the whole back patch was wet. The back though, okay. And your windows were not cracked at all? I honestly, I'm not getting anything on that one. Hang out though. It will come. Yeah. It's running in the background. Yeah. Yes. Yep. So for me, it's just different. It just happens, right? But for other people, it's just setting the intention, right? When you believe that you are communicating with your angel, you are. So the angels have to take our orders. They have to, they do communicate with us, but it's also based on our level of awareness. So lots of times the angels are wanting to help us do things, but we are not letting them. So when you talk about, when you're talking about your affirmations and things like that, that's you saying, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want, right? But if there's something inside you that doesn't believe that, the angel's kind of like sitting over there going, you say this is what you want, but it's not really what you want. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And so working on your own belief and your own awareness will help you connect with them even more. Nature, animals, and small children. They are very, very susceptible from angels. Angels use them to give messages all the time. All the time. Yeah. Great question. Yeah, sure. Unemployed angels? Help me, like angels without a job? Okay, I mean, sometimes they're kind of weird in between jobs, if that makes sense. I wouldn't call them unemployable. They're a little bit more free, right? There are angels that have certain jobs. Okay, so years ago, I went to a friend's church, and I was in the service, and there was somebody who had died but had not passed on. And I was like, hey, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, you can see me? And I'm like, yeah, I could see you very clearly. So we had this whole interaction, and he explained to me what was going on in the church, that, for the last 3 years, he was there and kind of trying to get somebody's attention. His grandma brought him there when he was a preschooler. He had an unfortunate accident when he was about 18 years old and passed away, but he was kind of stuck and he didn't know what to do. And so he's like, well, I'm just going to go to this church because somebody will help me there. They were not helping. And so I was there and I was like, okay, I can help you. And so he got to meet my friend. He has a very angelic name. His name is Trevor. So Trevor's only job is to usher some of those people across. And so I get to do that quite frequently. Trevor sometimes has angels that he's training in his position, so I could see where they would be in between jobs. I do know, based on my own experience, I've lost 5 children, and they all have various different things that they're doing. Some of them are coming back into this lifetime as actual people, and some of them are actually doing different jobs. There is a hierarchy of angels. So we start with our archangels, right? Going all the way down to your personal guardian angel. The hierarchy does not mean that one of the angels has more power than others. We think of hierarchy that way, that somebody at the top has more power. That's not true. Somebody's got to be in charge of the show, right? And so that's what the archangels are doing. And some people have said, oh, you can't talk to an archangel. If you try to talk to an archangel, they will kill you. And I was like, not dead yet. Happens every day, so... Right? Also, I will say this, when you're starting to talk to angels and things like that, or even working in the spirit realm, there's a lot of misunderstandings. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of rules. I like rules as far as I can throw them, okay? I have a sticker on the back of my phone that says, are those the only rules? So it's not based on any rules other than what I've just shared with you. There is a system, there is organization, there's tons of support. You are in charge. Those are the rules. Does that make sense? So I'll wrap up here as we're going to go into a meditation. There's a couple things I want you to know about working with the angels. So the first is you teach the angels more than they help you. All of you, during your sleeping hours, your spirit actually connects with angels, and you teach them what it's like to be a human. They don't know what it's like to be a human because most of them have not been here on Earth. They don't understand things like emotions. Really don't. They don't. They're kind of crass at times. And then they also don't understand time. So if you ever have a message that comes to you and an angel says soon, you want to follow that up with some clarifying questions, okay? Soon to them could be 30 seconds, 30 days, or 30 years. They don't know. And so if you're having a reading or you're connecting with your own angels, ask as many questions. You are not hindered by any of it. You are in charge, okay? Now, there's a really, really big lesson that the angels pretty much come and say during every session. Are you ready? You cannot screw this up. The whole entire system of life is set up for your success. The problem comes in when our human mind tries to decide what success means. You cannot screw this up. No matter how many times you think that you've made mistakes, your angel of temptation is like, yeah. Like there have been times when I have apparently succeeded, and I was like, ooh, I missed that one, right? There are things working in our favor that we have no idea that are happening all the time. You cannot screw up. Unconditional love, freedom, throw in a dash of harmlessness and some discernment in there, right? But you cannot screw this up.